poppin' starseeds, it's your girl Kamari Star, back with another video. Thank you for tuning in. If you haven't, thank you for subscribing and liking the video. It always does a lot, analytic wise, and if you enjoy the video, it lets me know that you enjoy it. So I really appreciate when people do that and comment and give their open-minded opinion about anything I'm ever talking about. I love conversation. I love intellectual stimulation. Like, that really gets me going. But y'all already know by the title that we're going to be talking about Halloween, aka Hallow's Eve. And just a disclaimer, you have to be a very open mind, and I'm saying you have to because there's no other choice type shit. Like, when it comes to listening to me and taking in what I'm saying and comprehending this, you have to be very open-minded. This usually has to be open, but we can work with that. I'm giving my opinion and facts on the matters of Halloween, just how I feel about it overall, and things that I feel like people should know. Like I said, if you want to comment, give your opinion, be very, very mindful when speaking to me. But yes, you're all welcome to share your opinion, but this is mine. If this is something that kind of grinds your gears as I'm talking, or you get the urge to be low vibrational or negative, think about that. Maybe there's some shit in there that you really need to hear and reflect on. Just take a deep breath before you respond. I definitely had to work on that myself. I just wanted to say that, and I hope you guys enjoy the video. The main message is to spread love and light with necessary chaos. So let's get into it. Halloween comes from the word Hallow's Eve, which literally means before All Saints Day. So November 1st is All Saints Day, I guess. I'm personally not big on certain holidays or celebrations, but Halloween in particular never made me feel low vibrational. It never made me feel scared in a sense that this is something I shouldn't celebrate. Like, I always had fun. I felt like it's one of the only holidays that actually gets people to tune into themselves. It's all about, what's your costume gonna be? What are you gonna carve in your pumpkin? Things like that. And I will be touching bases on different holidays as well, but I'm gonna speak on Thanksgiving since it's so close towards the middle of the video. As far as all the other holidays compared to this one, this is one that I feel like was definitely about the kids, and I'm gonna get into that as well. Ask them, ask the kids, what holiday do you have the most fun on? What holiday makes you feel the most good on? Christmas is usually going to be at the top of the list because of the presents, and that's misconstrued, right? But Halloween is definitely going to be number first or second. I'm talking about kids below 13. You get what I'm saying? Ask them. Do your own research. You don't have to be a scientist to prove this type of shit. It does appeal to the kids in a high way, and it can be a low way. It all depends on your mindset. The word hollow means to make holy. If you look this up on dictionary.com, synonyms of holy is blessed, sacred, divine. I correlate the divine to the universe, which is why I use that term versus the term God or other words that some people use, because I feel like it completely strips the feminine energy and the whole mother nature portion of it. So that's just my personal opinion on the word hollow and particular word God. And as I'm talking, I don't want to offend anybody. You're definitely welcome to feel how you feel. I think that that's very important if you're a true sacred being, to not be judgmental and let people feel how they want to feel. I don't believe in the terms good and bad. That's not really in my vocabulary anymore. However, I do believe in high vibrational and low vibrational things, and I'm gonna get into that as I'm speaking. I'm not too sure on the reason why it was changed to Halloween, but I know around the 7th century, that's when they decided to change it. And they would go around dressed up in costumes and like saints. That was literally what they were dressed up as, like saints. That was it. All the other costume wasn't really a factor in the European side of things, in the societal way. This is where that trick-or-treat comes from. Before I get more into the costumes and the kids and talking about things like that, I want to talk about the pumpkin and what that actually stands for. So it's actually for fertility and rebirth. That's what it's supposed to mean in a spiritual point of view. And as I'm talking, I'm going to separate spirituality and religion, because I don't feel like religious people should use the word spiritual if your mindset is a certain way. When you're saying that you're spiritual and you're claiming this, you have to claim the spirit world. There's no other way. That means that you believe in this and it's sacred to you, and in some ways you cherish this. You get what I'm saying? So if those things scare you, if you feel like that's low vibrational, or you feel like it's demonic, which some religious people like to use, then maybe this video isn't for you. Therefore, you don't have to comment. But just listen to different point of views. It's okay, especially people that look like me, because that's really who I'm appealing to. Because through time, things got misconstrued with our culture, and I feel like it's important for us to receive these downloads purely and get to the bottom of certain things and why it's demonized. Back to the pumpkin, it's also very, very good for you. I never even realized this. Like, it's so good for your immune system. It has a lot of vitamins in it: vitamin C, vitamin E, iron. It's a anti-toxic type of food, and it's actually very, very good for you. So in correlation to Thanksgiving, the people that were oppressed in the past, they would use this for Thanksgiving celebrations because it symbolized like sweetness and rebirth. Scientists say that it originated from North America over like 9,000 years ago, but it was first found, like the pumpkin seeds were first found in Mexico, I believe. I was about to say New Mexico, but I'm pretty sure it's found in Mexico. And this brings me into like the culture, like with the Mexicans and our neuromelanated beings, melanated goddesses, kings, queens, whatever you want to call yourself. We powerful regardless. We also have some past things that suggest these could have been in our society. And I'm not going to cite any sources that I use for this because I'm simply not a teacher. Like, I don't care if you get this. I'm the step after you get it. I'm the step after you align. It's not my mission to make sure you pass the test. I truly don't care. The people that are with me are with me. And if you're not with me, by definition, that means you are against me, or whatever dude said in X-Men First Class. No, but for real, I did feel that way. Let me know. Y'all don't gotta hide. I need to know who you are. Now I'm gonna get into the trick-or-treating of it. If you're spiritual like me, or you have a open mind like me, you know that there is these things called spirits. Just like humans, they can be negative or positive. I feel like a lot of things are viewed the wrong way when it comes to the spirit realm, and I don't think that's something you should ever be afraid of. It's the reason why it's there, and it's the reason why our ancestors are supposed to help us and guide us. But when it comes to our kings and queens, we're one of the only cultures that dismisses our ancestors and dismisses that world, and we get more 3D when it comes to death and rebirth and things like that. That personally has to stop. With the Hispanic culture, they cherish the dead. They make altars. They even give them like rations. We're so disconnected due to programming that you get scared. And I feel like that's where I disagree with the whole Halloween aspect and people thinking that it's demonic and, oh, spirit's scary. It's the only day it gets super cold and scary and stuff like that. The whole point of the whole trick-or-treating and the dressing up in costumes in the past was to protect the children from spirits. It's true, because they wouldn't know who they really were and things like that. And it's also true that the veil is very thin to the spirit realm on these certain days. Like I already stated, I'm not a teacher, and this is just for information, allegedly. With the All Saints Day, the European side of it, they would go door to door dressed up as saints and just give out gifts and receive gifts. On the food part of it and receiving things, this is where I can agree where things can get low vibrational, because you never know anybody's intention when they're giving you something. But let's be for real. The clothes that you're wearing right now, the car you drive in, the house you're in, somebody built it. Especially if you're wearing name brand clothes, especially if you have a name brand car. People have certain intentions on this realm, and so when they're creating, their intentions go into whatever they're creating. If you really want to get down to it, we can get down to it. Like, I don't like that part of it where it's like, oh, well, what about the candy? Or, oh, it's low vibrational because sugar. Okay, do sugar-free candy. Better yet, don't even give out candy. Why don't y'all just give out presents? Better yet, how about take all the taxes off on that day so everybody can get presents and everybody can receive presents and everybody can be oh, y'all don't want that to happen. That's the point. This is one of the days that the kids are the most happiest, and it was taken away from them with this whole pandemic thing, and with the whole everything becoming more virtual and having people staying in. I feel like it's an agenda to that, but I'm not going to speak too much on that. This is about Halloween. I do think that some spirits have negative intentions, but most of them don't. So whatever you feed energy into is what is in your reality. I don't have a lot of low vibrational experiences when it comes to spirits. Like, I just don't. And I feel like people that do, their spirit isn't right. For those to even be on your frequency, something has to be off. You have to be not in alignment. When it comes to the pagan history and back in the day, because that's kind of like what correlates to Halloween too. A pagan is just somebody who isn't with the religious beliefs, and they don't really call it God. So in the religious mindset, they're thinking that's an atheist. They're thinking this is a heathen. Like, if you look that up, that's what they'll say. But in all reality, it's people that were just very nature-based with their beliefs and their practices and things that they wanted to do. I can give you an example with the show Reign. If you're into kings and queens, like the Game of Thrones type of era, it's a very good show for that. It talks about that. It's this queen, her name is Mary, and then she marries this king, and his brother kind of falls for her. His name is Sebastian, I believe. I can't remember the king. Oh, Francis, that's the king's name. And his brother is pagan and his mother is pagan. So, you know, the mother is a mistress, she in the house. They don't really want to talk about that because back in that day, it's not something that was high vibrational in a society way. It was something that was frowned upon. But although there were some people that were practicing black magic, which I do believe is low vibrational, because it completely is about doing something to somebody else. Like, I don't believe in that. I just don't believe in that in any way. I don't like that. Back to the TV show, it was some pagan people doing low vibrational things, but Sebastian was pagan and they used the magic to like heal people. And that's where, you know, voodoo originally came from. Voodoo was never negative. You know, we didn't have all these electronic things and all these surgery that wasn't really big for us because people wouldn't survive. So we had to use our magic. That's where voodoo came from. But in Princess and the Frog and other movies, or in other especially Halloween movies, like magic and things like that are kind of looked at as a low vibrational thing. But then in other cultures, you can see them as a positive thing, like in the movie Coco or in the Chinese movie Mulan and things like that. I just seen this goddess talking about that on TikTok, and I had to share that as well because I completely agree. It's so true. Like, every other culture just worships their ancestors and they're so connected, and I feel like they thrive. And then when it comes to our culture, it's so disconnected, and I feel like it kind of stems from a lot of European programs, but it also like stems from us too, y'all, because, well, y'all, I ain't really with y'all like that. No, I'm just fine. But it's all about your mindset. It's the main message of this video. And although I do think it is a lot of low things that can come with any day, it's not just make up your own day. Like, it's not about the day, it's about the low energy on that day and knowing how to protect yourself. So when you're fearful of the spirit world, or you just pretend like it doesn't exist, you be hearing stuff, your kids hear stuff, your kids have nightmares, they're telling you things, oh, you're letting it go. No. If my kid ever came to me telling me they had a nightmare, I need to know everything about the nightmare. I need to know if you're okay, because let's get into the movies of Halloween, the scary movies, and why people think they're low vibrational. I'm not gonna lie. When I was younger, I did gravitate more to scary movies, and I still love scary movies. I love all types of movies. I want to be in that entertainment world, making them and being in them. That's just what I want to do and what I'm gonna do. I love watching different documentaries and movies, but back to wearing these clothes and getting the candy from different people. People that make movies have certain intentions. So you have to be mindful of that and mindful of the person and like, okay, what is their intention with this movie? The Exorcist, Hellraiser, Leprechaun, like those movies never really made me feel good. Like I didn't like them. Like and what's another one? Like Saw. I was never into that type of stuff. I can't do it. Like my soul don't really resonate with those type of movies. But when it comes to other movies like Insidious or some of The Conjuring, not all of them, because even it was weird with like the last ones, or what's another one? Like we can get into some TV shows like Charmed, Buffy, things like that. Even though they had these low vibrational things in them, it came with a message of high vibrations on how to protect yourself with the magic and things like that. And movies talk to us, y'all. Like TV shows talk to us. So I've always kind of gravitated more to that. With all that being said, with the more low vibrational ones, they made me feel low vibrational. But a movie like Insidious, it made me feel more comfortable, because I'm like, I think that I experienced that with the whole dreaming and knowing that at a young age. I'm like, I don't feel I just always felt weird, like you have to protect yourself when you sleep. Like I would always wake up if I had like a nightmare or something like that, and I just always like make sure I was up, make sure I was cool. And not only that, I would also wake up with certain things on my body, like scratches or stuff like that. And I would let it go at first, and like, you know what I'm saying? But getting older and realizing how certain things work, I feel like those things should definitely be looked at. I don't have anything like that anymore, and I'm more conscious when it comes to like the astral realms. But I just wanted to share that, because if anybody else experiences that, or your kid is like having like insomnia or like any other like sleep deprivations, don't ignore that and look into that, because that's very true. And that's one of the ways that spirits can connect to us. And also meditation is a very big way too. So I'm saying all this to say that yes, it is a thin line on the day of Halloween, but why don't y'all use that to your advantage? Like use your ancestral magic and manifest something. You do your own research. Just say something positive, a positive affirmation on Hallow's Eve. I'm abundant, I'm gonna be successful, and everyone in my family is healing. You get what I'm saying? And then watch everything change. Then do it next year, do it again. That's 2 years of your own research. You get where I'm going with this? Like you have to really look into these things and realize, okay, who is saying this and what's their agenda with saying this? And like even with the moon, people thinking that that's fake, like that's a whole nother video. The people that don't find Hallow's Eve negative are more in tune to the dark energy, and you need positive and dark along this journey. Just period. Spirituality is a nature-based path. It's holistic, and that's kind of where it originated from, the Hallow's Eve, with the magic and the witches and people thinking that that's negative as well. But with this star symbol, this symbolizes spirit and the elements: fire, air, water, earth. So why is this demonized? Who is saying this? It was the religious people. And you have to think about why. Whatever you feel, whatever you do, whatever you worship, as long as that makes you feel cool, cool. But when it comes to that judgmental stuff and pushing on certain days, I always think twice, and I always like wonder who, what, where, and why. That's the only thing that really stuck with me in school. Like for real, who, what, where, when, and why. And another thing with the whole scary movie thing, religious people came up with the word witch. It wasn't even about that. A true witch, a true spiritual goddess, is somebody who is against the religious programs and thinks outside the box, and is also very smart and talented. That's truly what it is. But just like anything in this 3D world with religious or spiritual or whatever you're into, because some people don't even correlate with the two, they're just here. I am going to end this video in a bit, but before I do, I want to get back into the costumes of it. I can see where some people might find that low vibrational, especially depending on what you're dressing up as. I seen this kid dressed up as Jeffrey Dahmer, and it was this big thing on Twitter. Everybody's like, you're disgusting, you're sick, blah blah blah. I'm yin and yang with it, because what about Freddy Krueger? He was molesting kids. He was a whole pedophile, and they burnt him up for that. What about Jason? He had emotional incest with his mom, and he kidnaps girls and locks them up because they remind him of his mom. The list goes on and on. I feel like Scream is like one of the most chill. He just stab you and go about his day. You get what I'm saying? And it's like funny, scary. People dressing up as more low vibrational things, I'm not with that. But at the end of the day, we got to think about what's cool and what's not when we're getting into all this. The same thing with the whole, okay, well, people are handing out candy. You don't know what their intention is. Y'all go to restaurants every day. Y'all go to retail stores every day, and you don't know where this is coming from for real. And then the people at Amazon, if you ordering from Amazon, that's more people touching your stuff. Like, stop it. To me, my personal opinion on Halloween is a magical day that stands for the rebirth of fall to winter. Also a day that allows you to express yourself with a costume, to let you know that you are not just this human body, you're not just this human experience. You can be anything you want to be. And it's also supposed to be fun, and it's also about community and things like that. That's what I see it as. And I feel like when it comes to certain days, make your own fun. Like, you don't have to do it exactly on that day. You can do it on that day, whatever you want. Like, it's not that deep. Let's all make our own day. Let's all, kings and queens, make a day, a month, and let's all say, okay, this is King and Queen's Day, period. We're not going to work. Let's all do it. Y'all won't do it, but if we did, it would happen. And these were facts and opinions. Again, I'm not citing my source because I'm not your teacher. I don't care if you get this. But peace and love to y'all. I hope y'all have a great Hallows Eve and have fun and take some advice on manifesting something that day and just see what happens. So peace, love, light, with necessary chaos every time.